Alright, what is up, guys? BC MVP 11 here, back to do UFC 109 predictions. Relentless. This card is not that strong. I actually agree with Sean, the MMA professor. If you've seen his channel, if you haven't, go check it out. He's got great videos there. He's got great MMA knowledge. He said this card, UFC 109, is basically the undercard to UFC 110. I agree with him there. This card is not very strong at all, in my opinion. But I guess we can go and get to it. The first fight of the night is Matt Srra versus Frank Trigg. We got Matt Srra, who's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got pretty daggone good Jiu-Jitsu. He's got pretty good striking. He's proved that he has heavy hands in his fight against George St. Pierre. And he had pretty heavy hands in that fight against Matt Hughes. He caught him a couple times as well there. Frank Trigg, he's pretty old. He has a lot of experience, as you said. His last fight didn't go the way he wanted it to against Josh Koscheck. Pretty quick knockout there. But Frank Trigg, has pretty good wrestling, pretty good cardio as well. But this fight, I see Trigg looking to shoot in right away because I don't think he wants to deal with Matt Srra's stand-up. And Srra's stand-up is pretty, it's not top-notch, I would say, but it's pretty good. He has pretty daggone heavy hands, as I said. Trigg's main strength is wrestling. I wouldn't really say anything else. His stand-up is not that great. Here, I think Matt Srra is going to stuff a couple of Frank Trigg's takedowns. If Frank Trigg does get on the ground, I think, Matt Srra's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Either submit him, in my opinion, or he'll get back up. But I think he'll get back up to where he will KO or TKO Frank Trigg. Late first round, maybe early second round. I'm going to go ahead and say Matt Srra. I'll say second round TKO. So a decent fight there. Our next fight, we have Damian Maia versus Dan Miller. People are alright, Damian Maia right away, submission, first few seconds. I wouldn't really say that. I would go, I like Dan Miller, he's pretty good. He's got pretty good wrestling. He's got good ground skills, good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's also as well, he got good Muay Thai. Damian Maia, just known for Jiu-Jitsu. He's got black belt. He's got great submissions, actually every single fight except for the Marquardt fight. I believe he had a 6-fight win streak in the UFC, all by chokes. And I see it happening in this exact fashion. I see Dan Miller maybe try and go for a takedown, or maybe Dan Miller wants to stand with Maia. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with the submissions, but Dan Miller does have pretty good takedowns. So I see Dan Miller. Eventually, Damian Maia is going to get this to the ground. Damian Maia always finds a way to get the fights to the ground, except for the Marquardt fight. So I see him getting down to the ground and choking him out. I'm going to say second round, I guess. I'm going to say second round, Damian Maia gets the sub in. Now our third fight of the night is Mike Swick against Paulo Thiago. Paulo Thiago has 3 fights in the UFC against Josh Koscheck, John Fitch, and his recent fight against Jacob Volkman, or he got a unanimous decision. His fight against Josh Koscheck, I think, was kind of weird at a point to where Josh Koscheck just got countered, got hit with a nasty uppercut. Paulo Thiago finished him on the ground. Mike Swick, he's got good striking as always. He's very fast. He's aggressive as well. He comes in, he throws his quick flurries all the time. If you saw the Dan Hardy fight, though, he got countered a lot. If Paulo Thiago can counter him, I think he win this fight. But Mike Swick as well, he's got pretty decent Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Paulo Thiago, though, he's got good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's very focused all the time when he fights. I mean, the dude is a focused dude. He's got pretty good counters as well. If you saw Josh Koscheck fight, he's a tough dude. I mean, he does a lot of things with his country outside of fighting, so you got to give respect to him. And Mike Swick, I think he's gonna push the fight. I don't think he's gonna get countered by Thiago. I'm kind of tempted to pick Paulo Thiago, but this is his third fight against the AKA guy, Josh Koscheck and John Fitch, and now Mike Swick. So I think Mike Swick is going to be able to take this one. I'm gonna say TKO third round, unless, as I said, Paulo Thiago counters him, and he can maybe KO him or TKO him. Alright, next fight, our co-main event, which is not that great of a co-main event, but Nate Marquardt against Chael Sonnen. Nate Marquardt, I think he's deserving of a title shot, even though he already lost Anderson Silva, but they're giving it to Vitor Belfort because Vitor has been pretty daggone impressive his last few fights. Knocked out Matt Linden in less than a minute, and just knocked out Rich Franklin recently in the first round. So I guess Vitor Belfort's somewhat deserving of it, but I'd like to see Nate Marquardt back in there because he is the number 2 middleweight in the world. Nate Marquardt, what can you say about this guy? The dude is well-rounded. I mean, he's got good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I believe he's a black belt. He's a good wrestler as well. And he's got good stand-up, and the dude has pretty heavy hands. He knocked out Damian Maia with basically one punch. Chael Sonnen, he's a good wrestler. He pushes the fight. I don't see Chael Sonnen win this fight. I could maybe see Chael Sonnen, taking him down. Or, we could maybe see Matt Srra type of thing where Matt Srra knocked out GSP, but I really don't see that thing happening. I think Nate Marquardt is going to win this fight. Pretty simple. I think Marquardt is going to TKO him in the first round. So I'm going to say Chael Sonnen gets TKO'd by Nate Marquardt in the first round. Marquardt is just way better, in my opinion, than Chael Sonnen. So that should be good. And our main event of the night, the battle of the mid-40-year-old men. Don't get me wrong, I have respect for both guys, especially Couture and Coleman. I mean, anybody who's in their mid-40s still fighting has to deserve respect. So let's get right to it. Randy Couture is a great wrestler, great Greco-Roman clinch game. He's got actually a pretty decent boxing as well. If you saw, his boxing is pretty good. He knocked Tim Sylvia down with a punch. He was beating Gabe Gonzaga in boxing in the match, in my opinion. Mark Coleman, though, he's a pretty good wrestler as well. Basically called the grandfather of ground and pound, in my opinion. I think he's the grandfather. He's got, good wrestler, good ground and pound, as I say. He's got a lot of experience. Both guys have experience, which is the battle of the 40-year-old men. The thing about this is I could really care less about this fight. Where does this take Couture if he beats Coleman, and where does this take Coleman if he beats Couture? Couture was not impressive in his win over Vera. I liked his fight against Nog, but I really wasn't that impressed with him. It was a great fight. And Coleman, his last win over Stephan Bonner, yeah, big deal. Does it really matter? He lost to Shogun as well. So I see Randy Couture doing what Couture does. I see him winning the stand-up. Or he develops great game plans. I think he'll have another great game plan for this fight. I could probably see Couture clinching with him right away, but I see Couture wanting to stand with him for a little bit because Coleman's stand-up isn't great. It's not horrible, but it's not great. I think I'm standing with Coleman for a little while. Eventually, if he tires him out for a little while, I see him clinching with him. I could see Randy, maybe getting him in a bad position, maybe rocking him like he did to Tim Sylvia and finishing him on the ground, but I don't see that happening. I see Randy, using his clinch and all that, and eventually getting a takedown, ground and pound, either third round TKO or decision. I'm going to say Couture by decision. So those are my predictions for UFC 109. Let's go over them one more time. Matt Srra over Frank Trigg. Damian Maia over Dan Miller. Mike Quickswick over Paulo Thiago. Nate Marquardt over Chael Sonnen. And Randy Couture over Mark Coleman. Alright, once again, this card is not that great. You just have to wait, though, till the end of this month. The end of this month is basically when the UFC decides to start their MMA year. UFC 108 was a decent card. And we had a free card with Fight Night. But you just have to wait. The free Fight Nights coming soon are better than this card. Not just put together. Each Fight Night is better than this card. But I'm definitely not going to spend my $45 on this card. Do I think it should be free? I guess it could be free. I think they could maybe lower the price on the pay-per-view, in my opinion. But I'll see if I can catch this fight online. I'll probably just catch results of it if I can't catch it online. But yeah. So UFC 109 Relentless predictions done, and I'll see you at the next event. If not, I will catch you later.